not even a crust. All aboard for a fat boy trip, and you can call me captain. Don't forget the paper plates and the stack of napkins. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. Pizza party, pizza party. Gonna have a good time. Pizza party, pizza party. Have a sip of red wine. Yeah.
Ciao, paisans! Welcome to Joey Royale's Pizza Party, episode number 1. Grab your napkins. It's going to be a mess. How's everybody doing tonight? Very nice to see you all. You're looking beautiful. You're smelling beautiful. I'm Joey Royale. I'm going to be your host. It's an honor and a privilege to welcome you to my pizza party. Tonight, I'll be providing you with a veritable buffet of weirdness, celebrating dungeon crawl classics, role-playing games, and all the inspiration that we bring to the table during adventures. I got all sorts of crazy stuff for you tonight. I got action figures. I got music. We got, oh man, you should see. It's like the Mount Rushmore of DCC tonight. Some of the guests I have. Wolf Manzilla, who just came out with Macabre. It's going to knock your socks off. I got Tim Deschene, my number one sensei when it comes to judging DCC. And ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the weird frontiers, David the Man Baity, a man so beautiful he's got to wear a mask. Who knows who else will stop by during the pizza party? So this is how I'm going to start. Who am I? I'm a knucklehead. I'm a nobody, but I'm going to spend an hour with you just talking about the beauty that is DCC. I've done a couple of things for Goodman Games that I'm very proud of. Let me show you just a little bit so you get to know who I am and where I'm coming from. I'm in Southeastern Connecticut. I'm a relatively new guy in the hobby. I've only been playing for 10 years. DCC is the first game. It's my first love, and they're going to bury me with it when I die. So if you go to the Goodman Games site, you can pick up some of my stuff. Right here, here is my first Kickstarter, Darkest Dice. Remember the chick tracks that you'd find on bathrooms in Walmart and stuff like that in the parking lots? Well, I boiled down some old school rules into a little chick track pamphlet. You can get that on the Goodman site real cheap. It's like $2.50. Pass them out to your friends and make a scene. First project right out of the gate, I hit a home run. Bradley McDevitt illustrated it. I love you, Brad. You're a good man. And then me and my best buddy, Tim Deschene, right here. For all you fans of Carnival, Twin Peaks, Todd Browning's Freaks, this is one of us, Sideshow Salvation and a Dystopian Dust Bowl. Third-party publishing for DCC on Tim's imprint, Iron Mind Publishing. That's on the website as well. And then not too long ago, I came out with my love letter to 80s ninja movies, Ninja City. And this is illustrated by another one of my best friends, Joe the artist. Joe, if you're watching, I love you. Ninja City, all of these you can pick up in the Goodman Games site. And I got more to come. I got a little secret project. I'm not going to tell you even about it. But it's called Weird Heroes of Public Access. That's all you get. You got to find out. We got to do a little bit of digging and find out what that is. So that's me. That's what I've done so far. This game right here, this book, I love it. Don't you? Obviously you do. You're spending your night on a Twitch watching people talk about it. So I think we're all kindred spirits. But this show is about DCC and the culture that surrounds it. The book itself is a wonderful piece of art. It makes for an amazing role-playing game. And I've met some of the best friends of my life because of this game. But it's more than the book. It's the culture. And that's what we're here to celebrate. When you meet somebody and you find out they play dungeon crawl classes, it makes you excited, doesn't it? It's like it's part of your tribe. And from what I've found, a lot of us have some very similar inspirations and influences. And that's what we're going to talk about on the pizza party. This is going to be a monthly show. And if you really like it, maybe we'll do it a couple more times than just once a month. But we're going to kick today off with a segment I'd like to call the Crypt of Cool. Ooh, that's the transition right there. Folks, I'm a collector, a curator of the outré. And I have some things that I'd like to share with you today that I think some of you will be interested in and may have some place either on your table or you're in your creative stew pot. So this is from all over. All right, let me share a couple of things. Right here. Steal like an artist. If you like to write your own adventures, if you like to do anything creative, we all hit the wall sometimes. You know the wall, how frustrating that is. You know, I get obsessive about stuff. And if I can't create, I start to get depressed. I tell you, here's the antidote. This book I picked up used on Amazon, Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. And literally, if I'm in a slump, I open this book randomly, and I'll do that right now. We'll share this together, all right? I'm going to open up. Here we go. Beautiful. Open up to a random page. I'll read it to you. Not so secret formula. If there was a secret formula for becoming known, I would give it to you. But there's only one not so secret formula that I know. Do good work and share it with people. Oh boy, that is quite a coincidence, because that's what DCC is all about. The third party scene, it can't be beat. This book has provided me with a lot of inspiration. And if you need a quick pick me up, I highly recommend this. You can, like I did, open it to any page and it'll get your creative juices flowing. It'll get you out of bed if you're really struggling with the project you're working on. So highly recommended. Now, let's get a little creepy. All right, let's get a little dark. The next book might scare some of you. That's okay. This thing, I can't put this down. This blows my mind. Satanic Panic. Pop culture paranoia in the 1980s. I'll let you know a little secret. And it's probably not a secret because some of you might be 70s and 80s kids. This kind of stuff is what really drew me in as a kid. Hearing about Dungeons and Dragons and the kids in jean jackets in the woods with goat skulls and all that. And, oh, stay away. Those kids play Dungeons and Dragons. You tell a kid that, they're going to be salivating. Now, there's also a dark side to this too, where you don't joke about, because this put a lot of people, the Satanic Panic put a lot of people in a bad spot and gave good people some bad names. But if you're really into, you know, heavy metal, if you're into like that, the whole anti-D&D thing, it's something to check out. There's a vast history in here, and it's broken up into articles. It ranges from movies to D&D, role-playing games, metal. It also, you know, the whole thing, I don't know if you've seen the videos about how people used to say that He-Man was evil and God forbid the Smurfs and Gargamel and all that, that they were demons. This is not only a fun read, but it also gives you a really interesting sociological look at the time in which we grew up in, and what gave kind of role-playing games a bad name that we're still fighting through, which is ridiculous. I mean, gamers, especially tabletop gamers, we've always been kind of outcasts, and that has blown my mind, because you can't really play a role-playing game without a group of friends around the table. So it is a very social activity. Pick that up if you want to learn more about the Satanic Panic and what it did to the hobby and how we're building up from it. Now, let's get into the Sonic end of things, okay? So before COVID hit, my friends and I, we'd come down here to the Mozzarella Mausoleum. We'd turn on the black lights, light some Nag Champa, and get ready to roll some dice. In every single session, this is how we would start right here, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. If you want a good soundtrack to your next role-playing game, Slasher Dave, Tomb of Horrors. For fans of John Carpenter, you know, B movies from the 80s, those synth soundtracks in the back. Remember those tapes that you used to get at the Rite Aid, like, you know, the sounds of Halloween and all that? Check this out. This is great. And it even comes with a mask. So check that out. Hide your beautiful face with one of these as you're rolling dice. Highly recommend Slasher Dave. He's got a couple of albums. You can find his stuff on Bellyache Records. He's got another really cool album called Exorcisms, and it sounds just like that. It sounds like a soundtrack to Exorcism. So you can't go wrong there. Slasher Dave. And one more I got over here. Now, this might lose some fans right out of the gate. All right. Work with me now. I'm going to talk you through this. This has been very inspirational lately as I've been working on just some quick 5-room dungeons just as a fun activity. Check this out. Black Sabbath, Technical Ecstasy. I can see people dropping like flies and people clapping at the same time. I love this. I'm a huge Black Sabbath fan. This is, I think, one of their last albums with Ozzy. This is like, what is it, 78, 76? It's a weird album. It doesn't sound like a normal Sabbath album, but I'll tell you what, as soon as the needle hits the record, first groove, first song, Backstreet Kids. If you never heard it, play it. And I guarantee you, you'll be hopping on your Schwinn Stingray, heading down to the gas station for a grape crush, and then on your way to the comic book store. That just sums up the nostalgia of 80s role playing so much for me. Backstreet Kids. You got It's All Right, where the man, Bill Ward on drums, pretends he's Paul McCartney. You got Rock and Roll Doctor, where Black Sabbath pretends to be Kiss. This thing has it all. Is it the best Black Sabbath album? No, absolutely not. Is it an amazing, headbanging, weird trip of 70s metal? Absolutely. And then you got these two knuckleheads, these robots doing horrible things to each other. I should probably cover that. I should censor that, cover that up. It's weird stuff. But that's just a little bit of the spice I like to put into my gaming mixture to get things going. Now, I want to do some things here and take care of some business and give Goodman Games their due. I want to tell you about a couple of things going on with Goodman Games. If you haven't checked out the website in a little bit, just announced, I think it was today or yesterday. This is awesome. And I'm gonna see if I can get my hands dirty with this a little bit too. The Mystery Map Adventure Design Contest. Now, the details online are going to explain it a lot better than I am. But the company is looking for some writers to work off a half-completed map that you need to finish, both, draw it out and then come up with some descriptions of the rooms. And there's a statue that you have to include in it too, a really cool looking, almost Der Golem looking kind of thing with the hole in his chest. So check out the website. And if you are chosen for this, there's about 1,000 clams involved in it. So it's pretty good. So check that out. Mystery Map Adventure Design Contest. Also, as always, if you're trying to get some people on board and evangelize the glory that is Dungeon Crawl Classics, they have the free DCC quick start rules. And I am extremely excited for this. And all I've seen so far is just the cover art. And I caught a little bit of the clip from the Maw of Mike the other night. Love in the Age of Gong Farmers by Stephen Newton. You have to check this out. The art looks beautiful. If you want to know more about the insides and outs, that sweet gooey center, check out a rerun of the Maw of Mike with Stephen Newton. That looks like very promising stuff. Later on this week, in terms of Twitch programming, Friday at 8 o'clock, we have Ed Stanek and Trevor Stamper hosting the Scrivenery, talking about third-party publishing, something very near and dear to my heart. Sunday at 8, talking TSR, Chris and Rick will explore the hidden shrine of Tamashan. So that's going to be really cool too. All right, next up, I got a little segment I like to call Stat It Up. Now, the thing with this, folks, is I'm going to need your help. I'm an 80s kid, and action figures were a big part of, and still are a big part of my childhood. Never grow up. I continue to pursue the rebuilding of my collection, after a mass exodus when we moved. So for the past 3 decades, I've been collecting action figures, plastic heroes and villains. Not only do they serve as totems to my golden age of nostalgia, but they also serve as endless wells of inspiration for what I populate my dungeons with, how I build my adventures. So I'm asking you, this is going to be part of the show, and I'm going to come back and answer this for the next show. I'm enlisting you, brave viewer, to help bring these creatures to life. Each month on the pizza party, we're going to be asking you to stat up a vintage action figure and get them ready to go toe to toe with your PCs. And I need you to make this happen. Here's how it goes. Every month or every show, I'm going to present the beauty from my collection, which is officially known as the Royale Funhouse of Doom. Viewers at home, get your brains blasting and send me some stats for the figures that we're going to talk about. And one lucky submission every month will be chosen and featured on the next episode. I'll invite you on the show. We'll talk about the action figure, how you statted it up, how you might have even used it in your game. And I'll send you a little gift in the mail too. And who knows, maybe at the end of a couple of episodes, we'll put these all together and we'll put out a little zine for the Goodman Games community. What do you say? But I need your help, okay? So here's your first mission. Without further ado, let's introduce the first statted up. Now, if He-Man is like A tier popularity and all that, we're going like C, and that's where it gets kind of cool and weird. All right, picture this. 1983, Marvel Comics, Remco Toys. God bless Remco Toys. I love that stuff. They gave birth to a beautiful gem, horrible pun, of an action figure and comic line. Behold, the saga of Crystar. Look at that sword. Look at that shield. You can see right through this guy, that beautiful blue. All right. DCC cultists watching, I cannot tell you enough good things about this. If you want weird, if you want something to really spice up that marinara, that is your DCC game, right here, paisans. Crystar, the saga of Crystar. It's got it all. It's got Agents of Chaos, Agents of Order, eye patches, a short, ripped, bald, half lava, half crystal dwarf Uncle Feldspar, who wants to just his crazy nephews to get along. Sounds like a normal Friday night at the Royale house. There's dragons, once again, one's lava, one's crystal, a crystal castle. Beautiful stuff. Here's Crystar. All right, he's the main man. This is his brother, Moltar. See? Crystal, lava. They don't get along. You let me down when I was little. I'm very sorry. You misunderstood. So there's those. Here's the awesome sidekick. This guy. Look at this. I try to get him as close as I can. Look at that eye patch. Beautiful. This is Warbow. He got an arrow in the eye, but he still packs a punch. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then my favorite. I remember them. This guy would always be in the inner pocket of my jean jacket when I was a kid for years. Feldspar. This is the guy. Ripped little dude. Crystal beard, lava pants. Don't mess around with this guy. Also, if he comes through your neighborhood, don't get in the van. I don't trust him. So here's what you got to do. Pick one of these figures. You got a lava man. You got a half crystal, half lava dwarf. You got the hero. Check that out. And then you got this crazy guy with the eye patch. You can never go on with the guy with the eye patch. All right. So what I need you to do a little bit of research, stat one of these guys up. And if you're the lucky person, I'll invite you on the show for a slice and we'll have a good time. My email address, and if somebody could put it in the thread over there, Lord Blood, that's BLUDD, lordblood@gmail.com. Stat up these crystal princes, and we'll put something together and throw it around and have a good time. Okay? Very good. Thank you very much. Oh, fun fact. Seriously, check out the Marvel Comics line too. It's really good, and you can get most of the issues. It's like a 12-run issue, pretty cheap. But fun fact for all you Danzig fans out there, check out issue 8. Go online, check out the image for issue 8 of Crystar, and let me know if anything looks familiar to you. All right? Look at that front cover. And I ask you this question. Am I demon? Nope. You're the unacknowledged art of illustrator Michael Golden. So Michael, wherever you are, I want to spread your name out there because you were never given credit for the work that you did to push that guy's t-shirt line. All right. Issue 8 of Christar Danzig fans. It's going to blow your mind. I'm a Danzig fan myself. I'm not knocking them, but let's give credit where credit's due. All right. So our first ad of the evening. Where is it over here? I mentioned my friend Brad McDevitt before. Folks, you got to check out this guy's Etsy. I ordered, it's a little bit self-indulgent, but here's a original illustration from Darkest Dice. He's selling a bunch of stuff at Darkest Dice and a whole bunch of other original art on his Etsy shop. Brad, you're giving away your work. The quality of your stuff, that stuff should be going for thousands of dollars. But folks, if you act fast, you can get it before it catches on at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Check out Brad McDevitt's Etsy shop. You're going to find some beautiful stuff like this illustration from Darkest Dice. Brad, I love you. Also, one more thing that I want to share that's going to carry us on to our next section. Holy cow! Have you guys seen this yet? Recently kickstarted. I got it in the mail December. Macabre by our next guest, Wolf Manzilla. I think this is going up on the Goodman Games site if it's not there already. Beautiful cover by Jogo. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Before I invite him in, we have company coming. So what we got to do, I got to put a little bit of Old Spice on. Get rid of the garlic smell a little bit. Freshen up because I got a handsome lycanthrope coming on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce a close and good friend of mine, Wolf Manzilla, the Neon Space Wizard, for those of you that are on Instagram. Can we bring him on? Is he there? He's on. All right. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
Look, I'm doing well. I love those shades. Love the beard. Luckily, it's not a full moon night. I'm glad we planned that the way we did because, you know, we know how it goes with the full moon.
I could have wolfed out. I could have wolfed out a little bit.
Love seeing you. Thanks for being on, buddy. And like I said before, I'm not blowing smoke. This is something you should be very, very proud of. I got a couple of questions for you. I want to talk about this, but would you mind if I just read something really quick from here?
Oh, of course. Yeah, please.
I just want to let our friends know what we're working with here. All right. It's a big book. We got like 44 pages in here.
Yeah,
you really pushed it here.
Yeah, out of control.
Looks really good. So let me see here. There's so much good stuff. This is another one of those things, folks, where you just open up and you find something good. Welcome to Necrovania, a horror setting that is hellbent on helping you transmogrify your games with sludge-like bloboids, machete-wielding maniacs, demonic taverns, mind-slurping space leeches, occult relics, gothic castles, robo-Nosferatu, infested woods, and all manner of cult classic cinematic weirdness. Necrovania is not a gothic horror setting. The central idea of the setting is that all genres of horror are available to the judge. 80s style slashes, dreamlike Italian splatter horror, alien invaders, undead hordes, demonic legions, and even titanic kaiju can all exist in this setting. Sold. Take my money, you knucklehead. Beautiful job. So tell everybody a little about yourself, Wolf.
I'm Wolf Manzilla, and I'm like you. I've been probably role playing for 8 to 10 years. I'm not one of the it was something always around my childhood, but it always eluded me. And I started playing DCC 5-6 years ago, and the thing that really blew me away about the game, Joseph put out a masterpiece. It is so inspiring when you read that book. I can't even begin to explain. But the thing that really moved me was the third party and the community surrounding the game. That really just blew me away. And seeing people pump out zines, Crawl was a big inspiration for me. Read with Crawling Under a Broken Moon. Just seeing that stuff with the art and the artists. There's the talent the talented people that are into DCC just never ceases to amaze me. But yeah, I grew up in the 80s. I'm an 80s guy. I consider myself a sommelier of cinematic trash.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well put.
At this point in my life, I'd rather watch Star Crash or Battle Beyond the Stars than Star Wars.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm kind of in the same boat. It's digging for those really weird gems. You can pull great stuff from. In the accessibility of all those, like you said, like when I first got into it, it was crawling under a broken moon and all that. And these people, they're so willing to share. Like you could reach out to them, and they're friendly. You can access them. It's like meeting rock stars. It's very inspiring, and it pushes you. What I really like about this, and I don't know how to sum it up, it's just there's a certain tone in this book, and it's like I'm talking to a friend. You're really guiding the reader on suggesting how to run a game, but never forcing anything down the throat. And you actually address this directly in the book, but you give enough, but then you leave enough holes for it to become your own thing. And tell me about that a little bit. Why is that important to you?
Again, that sort of stems from the Dark Master, from the way he wrote Dungeon Crawl Classics. I played some role-playing games before that, and you have these settings that can just be super, super defined, and I've never really dug. I don't know. I'm kind of a weird person, and I like to break the rules a little bit.
Sure.
So I think just giving enough of the setting, especially with horror.
Yeah.
Horror fans are super, super passionate. But if you meet 5 of them, guaranteed they are all going to be into different things. And when I decided to do a horror zine, I knew that I had to figure out a way to make all horror accessible. I wanted it to be. The big thing too is people were asking about me when I was writing it. Was like, oh, is it going to be Ravenloft? Is it going to be Gothic? And it's like, well, that already exists. Go play Ravenloft. It's amazing. But I wanted something weirder. I want killer clowns from outer space. I want Phantasm, Howling 2. I want Sturba, Werewolf Queen to show up. I want it all to be valid. I think that being able to just if I could go a little bit into the setting a little bit. So
yeah, please.
Necrovania, my thought process for it is that, so if you're playing in a game of Necrovania, you're gonna have Castle Necrovania, and that's gonna be sort of like the central spawning point of evil that's spreading throughout the land. And I came up with this idea that, well, your Castle Necrovania can be whatever you want it to be. If you want those Robo Nosferatu to be invading your lands, and you want a game that those are the primary enemies and things like that, then and you build your own castle and you figure that part out. That's kind of how I want everyone's experience to be a little bit different. So
I don't want to put you on the spot, but like you said, you're a connoisseur, you're a sommelier of this. And this is a conversation I've had with friends before, and it gets pretty deep and it's interesting. How do you define horror? What is your definition of horror? What makes horror?
Yeah, that is a deep question. I think for me, horror is there's like horror movies, and then there's like actual, I call like almost like fear movies or fright movies, things that are actual horrifying. If this were to happen to you in real life, it's not a good time. It's borderline disturbing, disgusting, and that stuff can be okay. Like there's a lot of that stuff, but for me, like horror is almost just like it's an escape. It's like I think it's like a roller coaster, it's just this thing of you should be scared, but at the same time, you're going into like a haunted house. something jumps out at you, get like
Yeah.
you and your friends. And
We pay money to go into that stuff, you know?
yeah, it scares you, but you still know that it's you know, it's out there to just maybe warn you
Sure.
of the evils of the world.
It's very hard. It's very hard to put your finger just on one thing when it comes to horror. And I think to your point too, that everybody has a slightly different definition of it. It's like, I know it when I see it, but what they say about that. So you have an interesting mechanic in this zine that I'd like you to talk to our viewers about a little bit. And that's the tarot. I love the use of the tarot in this book. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been fascinated with tarot decks. I think they always have amazing artwork, and there's always, talking about that Satanic Panic book earlier.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. There's always this this air of evil, or not evil necessarily, but this something that's a little forbidden.
Yeah.
Kind of like D&D in the 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
And my thought process was, you know what, I really want, so all the characters that I'm introducing in Macabre, from the first issue and moving forward, they'll be able to make little decks using a tarot deck, and all of them will have a special ability that essentially uses the deck. But for the judge, I wanted you to just be able to have this thing sitting on your table that you can use to tempt players with. You can bargain with them, or if things are just stalling, you can just draw a card off the top of the deck. Don't show it to the players. I think being a judge, being a DM, like 47% of it is theatrics, right?
Oh, sure. Building that suspense. Yeah.
Being a magician of sorts,
Yeah.
And if you can just look at a card, if you get, especially if you can get like a tarot deck with some really cool art, just looking at it, and even just one little piece can inspire you to just add a complication to that game right then and there. That was my thought process. I sort of wanted to, because I wanted something that was going to separate it, separate Macabre and Necrovania from like Umerica or MCC or the other. So I think a tarot deck, I think back to like the classic Universal movie monsters and stuff with like the Wolfman and there's like keys and things of that nature.
You know that full moon's coming, so you got to get ready. Something crazy is going to happen. But for the judge to have that control, I think somebody wrote in the chat the fate aspect of it. Very, very cool. But so yes, it can be specific to Necrovania, but I think it's given me some ideas that can be portable to many different situations. Just one more tool for the judge to bring to the table and add that tension, which I think is one of the most important and most enjoyable things for me about games is tension. What's behind that door? You do a nice part in here too about making things horrific rather than just scary too. This you got a lot of great charts in here. You got some monster of the week stuff, mostly lycanthro focused. And I love how you differentiate between a wolf man and a werewolf. This is something I've been fighting about my entire life. So what's the difference?
All right, so this is like I'm going to educate all the viewers out there. If you happen to come across a lycanthrope, or you are a lycanthrope yourself, during the full moon, during the transformation, if all of your clothes explode off of you and you're running around on all fours, or if you're standing up like really tall, creepy legs like Dog Soldiers, movie like that, you're a werewolf. You're more wolf than man. But if you transform and you're still rocking your jeans and a little bit of the tee, that's a wolf man.
That's a wolf man. All right. All right.
Right
So
there.
we're looking for the ripped pants bipedal. That's the wolf man. If you're on all fours, looking for the brujol and the garbage, that's a werewolf.
Sometimes the werewolf will stand up. But
if the brujol's on a high countertop, then he's going to stand.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. It's
And
all
if you
about
have
how he accesses the brajol.
If you have nards, you're also the wolf.
That's very important. And on that note, Stephen King rules, right? He's got nards. All right. Well, that's great. So this says, very clearly on the front cover, it's like you're setting us up. Volume 1. What's coming up, buddy?
Again, a big inspiration for me. I went back when I started creating this, and I was looking at like Crawling Under a Broken Moon.
Yeah.
I wanted the first issue to sort of be a little bit of everything, a little taste. It's a little morsels here and there. But for the next one, I really want to focus on all the player stuff. I want you to be able to make zero level guys to throw in funnels. So I want to come up with a new occupation chart. I've got like 4 or 5 new classes that I'm testing out that I'm planning on putting in the book. I've got one that is, if you've ever played the TurboGrafx 16 or Sega Genesis, Splatterhouse, I've got a Splatterhouse inspired pugilist. I'm gonna figure out a way to do like a hero out of time. So you have your Ashley Williams from like Army of Darkness.
Of course.
I'm thinking of the way to handle that is when you roll on the occupation table, there'll be like a 1 in 100 chance that your dude is not from Necrovania. You're
from Coventry, Rhode Island.
Yeah, exactly. You're from Little Rhodey.
Yeah.
And you're back in this world.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got it. This is something I really want to sink my teeth into. We got to get a game together sometime. Run us through it.
Practically neighbors.
We are, yeah. Hey, and just on another note, so like this was Kickstarted, right? Can you just share a little bit what that experience, like what was this your first Kickstarter?
First time ever producing a Kickstarter.
Big learning curve there from personal experience. Learned a lot from a lot of things I would do similar, a lot of things I would not do similar. What are some big takeaways that people could get some knowledge from here? Drop some science on us about your Kickstarter experience.
First and foremost, give yourself more time than you think you're going to need. I delivered in December. I think the goal was to get it out by October, obviously to coincide with Halloween. Yeah. If you're like me, I'm sure you start celebrating Halloween in like August.
Yeah.
So definitely give yourself some more time than you think you're going to need. Hire, if you can afford it. I thought I could do really well, and I was going to lay this thing out myself.
Yeah.
I wrote the whole thing. Don't be John Carpenter. Don't do written John Carpenter, directed, sound. He did everything. Man. But there's only one John Carpenter.
Yeah. You don't pull the John Carpenter your first Kickstarter. I mean, you did it. It looks like, and you nailed it. But that's got to be a lot on your shoulders.
I had a lot of friends that helped me out. I got someone to do editing, a layout for me. She was incredible. She was a family friend that I dragged into the zany world of Dungeon Crawl Classics. Christina Petrilli, she did the zine would not exist without her.
You got an amazing lineup of artists too, man. You swung right for the fences the first time around. You got, once again, Bradley McDevitt, Carmen Vance, Jogo Noguera, Scott Weigans, and Walter Egan. I mean, you weren't messing around, buddy. This is no freshman. That you went straight varsity on this. Nice work.
I told myself that DCC, so much of it's about the art, and the words are one thing, but people are visual. I'm a visual learner. Yeah. That's what drew me to DCC. The first time I saw
the whole sauce. Absolutely.
So I knew I had to get, the creme de la creme. Like you got that Macho Man where he's just the cream.
Oh yeah.
That's what
you gotta inject that into everything.
So honestly though, if I can be real for a minute, before I even thought I was going to kickstart this thing or do anything like that, I was going to go real cheap, low budget. Brad McDivitt, his clip art critters that you can get on Drive-Thru RPG. I bought a handful of those, and I started writing, or after I started writing, and a few of them made it into Macabre. So afterwards, I just reach out to these people. They're on Instagram. They're amazing artists. Carmen Vance is so amazing. She is incredible. Reach out to Carmen and get her work. Scott Wegmans, he goes by like the Dark Wizard Berserker. Amazing artist.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And Brad McDivitt, he was an absolute joy to work with. He did so much cool stuff. He had great ideas.
Yeah, we'd get on Zoom to like talk about the art, and the next thing you know, an hour would be passed. We're just having conversations about life. He's a great dude.
But but the DCC community and the people that are out there, the artists, the editors, reach out to them. They'll, like you said earlier, they want to help out. They want to offer their services.
Yeah.
And it really makes a difference.
Hey, you want to stick around and hop on our game show session a little bit?
Yeah, I got a little time.
All right, I got a couple of dudes in the green room getting ready to throw down. It might get a little bloody, but if you have time, we'd love to have you. Before we go into our third commercial break, as in every episode, we're going to do a wisdom check in which we go far back into the libraries of old and think about how ancient philosophy may affect how you play at the table. I'm going to pull out my number one guy right here, Mr. Marcus Aurelius. And today's lesson, friends, is going to be from Meditations. And let's see how we can apply it to the table. Ready? One of my favorites right here, folks. On those mornings you struggle with getting up, keep this thought in mind. I am awakening to the work of a human being. Why then am I annoyed that I am going to do what I'm made for, the very things for which I was put into this world? Or was I made for this, to snuggle under the covers and keep warm? It's so pleasurable. Were you then made for pleasure? In short, to be coddled or to exert yourself? Let me tell you this. Times are tough right now, and people need friends. Sometimes after a long work week, you're a little bit too tired or run down, and you think about dropping out of the game at the last minute. People are expecting you to be there. They're counting on you. That's their therapy. It's our therapy. So when you're getting down, or if you're tired, if you had a long week, just remember, you don't want to be that empty seat at the table, because people want to see you because you're loved. So shake it off, try to show up to the table, and I bet you 99% of the time you'll be very glad that you did. Because one day there will be an empty seat at that table. That's life. So try to get as much fun in as possible. Treat yourself. Do what makes you feel good. And now it's time for a commercial break. Next up, we're going to get into the game. And we're back. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Thanks for hooking up the chat. There's some great stuff going on in there. Some wonderful people. Judge Jen, how are you? Good to see you. All right, check out this. It's like a beauty contest in this place. Over there, we got Timmy D in the place to be. One of my best friends. This guy, he ran the first game I ever played. It was DCC, the Jewel of the Delta and Stardust. You changed my life forever. If I could reach through this screen and kiss you, I would right now. Look how handsome you are in your gi. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, thank you, Joey. How are you? Awesome.
I can't complain. Can't complain, buddy. A black belt in awesomeness. And once again, the man who is so beautiful, he's got to wear a mask so a riot doesn't start. Ladies and gentlemen, and I mean this in the most sincerity, Mr. Baity, because I really look up to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the world famous, the planetary, the universe famous, Mr. David Baity, the commandant of Weird Frontiers. I have my kid sitting on my porch every day waiting for the postman to come. The poor guy is frozen out there. But I know you are working your tail off. Not only do you make beautiful stuff, you're a good human being as a first responder and as a patron saint of felines. And I really mean it. You are a great person, and it's an honor to have you on my show, buddy.
Thanks,
Let's
pal.
everybody give him a round of applause. Give Timmy a round of applause. Wolfman's back. Baity, you got any updates for us?
Well, I haven't actually did an update on it yet, but I do have 2 solid copies of the book that the printer just sent in, and they're fully printed and they're a sight to behold. And I can definitely tell you this: if you don't like the book, you can use it as a murder weapon. It's a beast, at least a D7.
That's a big sausage.
Yeah,
Big
it is.
loaf. That's excellent. Thank you very much. We can't wait to have it. Gentlemen, here's what we're going to do. Oh, and before I forget, in the break, Wolfman was kind enough to offer a free copy of Macabre to the winner of the Statted Up contest. So we're going to throw that in the grab bag too. Okay? Very good. Guys, I brought you here today. Here we go. Behold, welcome to Level Up, the game show section of the Pizza Party. It's time for battle. These 3 brave adventurers will now attempt multiple wisdom and intelligence checks in a battle for the Pizza Party Super Slice Wizard of Doom Award.
Warn you, those are my dumb stats. I didn't roll straight down.
Nice. In real life too. Okay, here's our contestants for the day. We got them on the screen. I'm going to ask some questions. You're going to write down the answers for each section. And then on the count of 3, you'll hold them up and we'll collect the points. Okay? The highest scoring adventurer will make it to the Mozzarella Mausoleum to possibly, if we have time, face off against our monster of the week. Here's our first category. Are you guys ready? The category is wizard or cleric. We're starting kind of low here. All right. I tell you the spell, the DCC spell. You tell me if it's under the umbrella of wizard or cleric. Audience members, please remain with your hands off the keyboard so we don't get any answers. I'm going to give you just a couple seconds, and you just write down wizard or cleric, and at the end, we'll hold it up and see who got them right, okay? Wizard or cleric. The spell is strength. Second spell, breathe life. Third spell, detect magic. Fourth spell, lotus stare. On the count of 3, please hold up your sheets. 1, Timothy, I said 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on.
All right, Baity. Wizard, cleric, wizard, wizard. Wizard, wizard, both. Cleric. Wolf.
I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Character sheet.
Hold on. Just read it out loud, Wolf. I trust you. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I'm not cheating. 1, I put wizard. 2, I put cleric. 3, I put wizard. And 4, I put wizard.
And I'm sorry, David, one more time. What you got?
Wizard, cleric, wizard, wizard.
Here we go. From the book itself. Strength was a wizard spell. Breathe life was a wizard spell. Detect magic was a cleric spell. Lotus stare was a cleric spell. If you put both for detect magic, I'll give it to you. All right. So here we go. Right out of the gate. Deschane's making a stink. 3 points for him. Wolf's got 2. David's got 2. All right. Next one. Appendix N Pantheon. Name the Appendix N author. This is getting a little tough now. That created the god. Ready? God number 1. Near and dear to my heart. Dagon. God number 2. Mog the spider god. God number 3. Ariok. There you go. Those are your gods. kneel and repent as we reveal. I'll start with David this time. David, what'd you get for Dagon?
Lovecraft,
Mog,
Tolkien,
Ariok,
Moorcock,
Wolf, Dagon,
Lovecraft.
Mog, the spider god,
Liber.
Ariok,
Clark Ashton Smith.
Deschene, Dagon,
Technically Lovecraft. He's a real god, but Lovecraft.
Dagon was Lovecraft, Mog the spider god was Liber, and Ariok was Moorcock. Tim is in the lead with 6, and Wolf and David are both at 4.
Moorcock was my first guess. Should have went with the
That's
old
what
gut.
they all say.
Yeah.
Appendix N by the numbers. I'm going to read you some hints. You got to tell me the number that I'm looking for. Okay? Zelazny counts these many princes of amber in his 1970 novel, the first in the Amber Chronicles series. What is the number I'm looking for? How many princes of amber? Number 2. Paul Anderson counts these many hearts and lions in this 1961 fantasy classic. Number 3, Farford and Gray Mouser's exploits in a sword series consisting of these many books. All right. I will start with Wolf this time. What are your numbers run down?
All right. For the first one, I'm gonna get this wrong. I got 11. Second number, I have 3. And for the books, I believe 4.
All right. Tim.
I got 9 for 9 Princes of Amber. I couldn't remember if it was 7, but I think it's 9. 3 for the second, and then I guess on the last one was a 4.
All right. Mr. Baity.
12, 3, and 4.
Okay, here we go. There were 9 princes in amber. There were 3 hearts and lions. And there were 7 of the swords books. There was 6 swords against, and then there was a 7th one that kind of strayed from that. I don't know what off the top of my head. All right. Very good. All right. Last category. Heavy metal lyrics. Ready? Dio's holy diver is encouraged to jump on and ride this animal mount. Dio's holy diver is encouraged to jump on and ride this animal mount. Number 2, asking for a friend in Black Sabbath. What is this that stands before me? Answer the question. What is this that stands before me? What is this that stands before me? Number 3, the Judas Priest enhanced body part that takes pride in probing all your secret moves and includes a tearless retina, takes pictures that can prove. What enhanced body part from Judas Priest takes pride in probing all your secret moves and includes a tearless retina, takes a picture that can prove? And yes, to you folks in the audience, we are working on a way to get you involved in this next one. That would be great. All right, guys, here we go. I'll start with Deschene on this one. Number 1, the Holy Diver Mount.
All right, he wants you to ride the tiger.
Okay.
What is this that stands before you? Figure in black that points at me.
Okay.
And I believe the priest song, it's Electric Eye.
Okay. Let's go with David.
I got Ride the Tiger for the first one. The second one I could not come up with. and the third one was Electric Eye.
Okay. And Wolf.
First one I have a tiger. Second one I was not able to figure that one out. And yeah, Electric Eye for the third.
Okay. Well, you all did very, very well, and you should be proud of yourselves. Have yourself a little bit of orange soda. Cheers to you all. Salud. All right. There you go. It is my pleasure to announce Sensei Tim Deschene as our first winner of Level Up. You, sir, will be receiving a $50 gift certificate to Goodman Games.
What?
Yeah.
I thought this was just for fun.
But gentlemen, you also are getting some goodie bags, including Vault of Horror and Haunted Fear, and some little figures from Joey Royale's Funhouse of Doom coming to you in the mail. You'll both get complimentary copies of Darkest Ice and Ninja City if you don't already have it. And you get my undying love for all of you.
Awesome.
And you're very lucky because there was a tie. You get to avoid the Panther Man in denim hot pants battle that may have come to fruition. But we'll save that. We'll save that for another time. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Joan of Arc Destroyer, who was supposed to be with us. Like I said, we're going to have her on another episode. We wish her well. Everybody, this was an absolute pleasure. I hope you had some fun. I love you all very much, and I'll see you again next month. Guys, is there anything that you want to conclude the show with? Anything you want to say to everybody out there?
Just keep gaming, man. And hopefully, well, I'll see some people at Gary Con if things don't get too crazy. Or if you're in the area and you come down my way, Total Con in February. If things are looking okay and not too disease-ridden, you know, I'll be there for those. So,
Excellent.
And I hope to see all my friends who I have not seen in quite some time, thanks to all this hoopla. But yeah, and thanks, Joey, for having us on.
Oh, my pleasure. It's an honor to have all of you on.
Yep.
Wolf, your stuff on the Goodman page?
Shortly. It will be there shortly.
Very good.
So you can find it there. You can get the PDF right now on drive-through. But if you wait a couple weeks, I got a lot of books going to the Goodman warehouse.
Okay,
yeah,
very good.
Thanks for having us on. And if you're watching and you've ever thought about, you know, doing something third party, just do it. Just do it. Force yourself. Get outside your comfort zone. Reach out if you want to talk to me. I'm on Instagram, Neon Space Wizard. You can send me an email at officialspacewizard@gmail.com. I don't mind answering questions, and that's
Awesome.
What's great about this community.
Absolutely. David, anything coming up for you? Anything you want?
Just trying to get the rest of the Stretch Goal Adventures out for the Kickstarter. Folks can still pre-order if they want to try and snag an actual guaranteed hard copy of Weird Frontiers. You can do that. The best way to do it is just to reach out to me at weirdfrontiersrpg@gmail, or you can find me on Facebook with a group. But you can also get the PDF on drive-through as well. So just hang tight, guys, for you that have already backed, because it is coming, I promise.
Very good. I am putting my email in the chat. You can also find me on Instagram at get_haunted_industries. I hope to see you next month. You are, all of you on the show and in the chat and everybody in between. You are important to me. You are loved and you are needed at that table. Show up. Somebody's counting on you. Okay. And a big standing ovation to Elena Thompson, who knocked it out of the park. She's always there for whatever I need. I know nothing about Twitch. She helped me find a camera, a microphone. She helped me with my hair tonight. Thanks a lot. You are a wonderful person. So thanks for everything, Elena. All right, everybody. See you next month. Have a wonderful night. Hail yourself. Take care, everybody.